Once upon a time, in a small town enveloped by the darkness of the night, there lived a family, the Johnsons. Mr. Johnson, a hard-working man with a heart of gold, Mrs. Johnson, a loving and caring wife, and their two children, Emily and Jack, who were as mischievous as they were curious. Little did they know that their peaceful lives were about to be shattered by a series of spine-chilling events that would haunt them until the end of time. It all began on a stormy, moonless night. The wind howled like a wounded animal, and rain poured down as if the heavens themselves were weeping. The Johnsons, snug in their cozy little home, were blissfully unaware of the terror lurking outside their front door. Suddenly, a faint knocking sound echoed through the house. At first, they dismissed it as a trick of the wind or perhaps just their imagination playing tricks on them. But as the night wore on, the knocking grew louder and more persistent, as if someone were desperately trying to break in. Nervously, Mr. Johnson ventured toward the front door. He cautiously peered through the window, but the darkness outside concealed the identity of the knocker. Fear crawled up his spine like 1,000 tiny spiders, and he quickly retreated back into the safety of his home. Who could it be at this ungodly hour? Mrs. Johnson whispered, her voice trembling with anxiety. Their children huddled close, their eyes wide with fear, as they hushed each other, hoping to catch any sound that might reveal the source of the mysterious knocking. As the nights passed, the Johnsons' once peaceful home became a battleground of fear and uncertainty. Each night, the knocking grew louder and more insistent, as if the unseen visitor was determined to gain entry into their lives. Sleep became a distant memory, as they lived in constant anticipation of the nocturnal terror that awaited them. The town was abuzz with rumors and theories, as the mysterious knocking continued to plague the Johnsons. Some speculated that it was the vengeful spirit of a disgruntled neighbor, who had met an untimely demise. Others whispered that it was the work of a malevolent creature, lurking in the shadows, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike. Driven by a mix of fear and curiosity, Mr. Johnson decided to seek the help of the town's renowned paranormal investigator, Professor Montgomery. The professor arrived at the Johnsons' home armed with an assortment of gadgets and a mind sharp enough to unravel even the most perplexing mysteries. Together, they set up surveillance cameras, hoping to capture any evidence of the nocturnal intruder. Night after night, they stayed awake, watching the live feed from the cameras with bated breath. But to their dismay, the knocking continued, seemingly unaffected by their efforts. As days turned into weeks and weeks into months, the Johnsons grew weary and desperate. The constant knocking had taken a toll on their once joyful spirits, and they could no longer endure the torment. They made the difficult decision to abandon their beloved home, seeking solace and safety elsewhere. And so, the Johnsons left behind the house that had once been their sanctuary. The knocking, however, followed them wherever they went, a haunting reminder of the darkness that had invaded their lives. It was as if the unseen visitor had become a part of them, forever etched into their souls. To this day, the Johnsons live in a perpetual state of fear, haunted by the memory of the mysterious nightly knocking. They warn others to never underestimate the power of the unknown, for it has the ability to shatter even the strongest of spirits. So, dear reader, as you lie in bed tonight, remember the chilling tale of the Johnsons and their relentless tormentor. Can you hear it? That faint knocking on your window, growing louder with each passing moment? Take heed, for someone, or something, may be lurking just beyond the darkness, ready to invade your life from the depths of your worst nightmares.